What's up everyone, Ivan's here with another tutorial. Today I'm going to speak about details, textures, and especially what is important for me while I'm doing so detailed tattoo. How I make it and what I'm trying to avoid doing it. I will share with you the stuff that I have learned from my own experience with the hope that I can make your life a bit easier. Anyhow, with that being said, let's roll the intro. Now, first thing first, so let's start from the very beginning, and this is the stencil. I did a digital stencil in this time because I don't really want to lose the time to prepare it on the day of the tattoo appointment. Doing the stencil of such a big detailed tattoo takes a long time and a lot of concentration, so I highly recommend you to prepare your stencil at least a day before. Like this you will sleep over the piece and you will be ready to start direct with a load power on the next day. If you're not able to make a digital stencil on your iPad, you can call your customer in your shop the day or the week before the tattoo day and take the actual size of the piece. Then you can manually prepare the stencil before the given day. When I'm doing such a stencil, I try to make it as simple as possible for me and to avoid putting each and every detail what I'm actually seeing on the reference. This will make it easier to read and follow the stencil afterwards. One trick I'm using is that I watch the image and I try to separate it in my head into the bigger and much simpler forms. If I see a lot of details, I move my head away a bit from the design and I squeeze my eyes. This helps me to see the form and not the details in it. Putting too much information on the stencil makes it too complicated for reading and I often get lost into the old details. Stop seeing the overall image of the project, which my personal opinion is much more important than copying just one-to-one photography. Remember that for the viewer it's not important what they actually seeing, like details, but what is the piece telling them and how they feel while they're watching it. Too much details doesn't mean a better tattoo. Even most of the time, less means more, especially in tattooing. Making something simple, but at the same time convincing is the real masterpiece for me. And simple doesn't mean easier. Try to avoid making every hair on the exactly same spot like you see it on the photo, or each stone on the perfect place, because it is not like this in the nature. Nature is imperfect, and this is exactly what makes it beautiful. Try to represent emotions with your art. On the end, the only thing what matters for the viewers is just that they believe to this what they are seeing. If you have a good likeness of this what you are trying to do, then you did a good job. Good exercise for me is that if I see 100 hairs, I try to make only 10, and if I see 10, I make just 1. Like this I try to concentrate much more on the motion and the values. I know it could sound like a bunch of nonsense for some of you, but for me, stuff like flow, motion, texture, dynamic are the leading power of detailed work. And they're much more important for me than copying one-to-one something from a photo, even if I'm able to do it like this. But enough about this for now. I guess you get my point. Now sometimes, as with the stencil, I step on the side and take a look to my piece from distance. Very often I squeeze my eyes during the process. This helps me to defocus from all the details and see the overall piece. Then I see clearly where and what I have to correct or maybe add to it. Without exception, in the detailed pieces, I am not afraid of using pure black. For me this is one of the most beautiful parts of each tattoo and make it look very dramatic. Actually the effect, which I really love and use all the time. For me the start of such a detailed piece is the most frustrating part of it. Sometimes I find it very useful at the beginning to look at it like I'm trying to make a puzzle. I go slowly, step by step, starting at the place of the project where I feel the most comfortable. I'm placing first the stuff I'm sure about and then slowly put more and more details. It takes a lot of time till I start actually to realize what is going on. All the time when I'm starting such a piece, the first few hours I'm just trying to connect the puzzle between the stencil and the actual reference. With the time, the image gets clearer and you can better see what it needs. After this, everything starts to happen automatically. I'm using mostly small needles in this piece and basically always when I'm doing such a detailed work. Here I'm using 3 round liner, 7 round shader and a small curved magnum which is 7 magnum soft edge. I'm building all the main forms and blocking in the piece with the round shader. Actually 90% of the time I'm working with the round shader. For me this is the ultimate needle. I can make with it really small details. I can also make some shadows and feelings. This is an absolute favorite needle for me. I'm using it in every tattoo I do. Right on the end, when I have all the forms and flow of the tattoo, I come back with the magnum and just go over the whole piece where it needs to be covered with the shadows. This is the item that brings all the parts from the puzzle together, give the deepness of the piece and just compress the whole tattoo. The 3 round liner is the masterpiece. You can call it icing the cake. I use it right on the end to clear the details and make some sharp edges. This is very important for me because like that the piece looks finished and everything gives the feeling of perfection. I love to sharpen some of the edges on the end right before I put the highlights. This helps the tattoo to stay stronger with the years and beautiful after healing. So that was from me guys, I hope you enjoyed. Like always, hit the like button if you do, subscribe if you aren't still already and hit the small notification bell. Like this I will notify you every time when I post the next video. You can also follow me on my Instagram where I post almost every day. And yes, I hope to see you in the next video. Love you guys, bye bye.